President Biden is expected to address the nation today about the withdrawal of all troops from Afghanistan. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
As we face uncertainties over how this new school year will go, we know there are major challenges ahead. Approaches to reopening schools will vary, but the health and safety of students, school staff, and communities must always be the top priority. One thing is certain, whether teaching online or in person, Ohio's educators are dedicated to every student's success.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Paint? No. Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first-of-its-kind one-coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
From the Watchdog, here is your local weather forecast for your Tuesday. A chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 80. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely with a low of 66. And for your Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms are likely with a high of 74. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
All right, listen up, you guys.
Morning.
Morning. It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
I am loving the sound of your voice.
Good morning, sunshine.
Crank up the radio.
You all ready for the big show?
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
And action.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
All right, let's do this.
Yes, we are ready to let the dogs out.
Well, what are we waiting for?
It's showtime.
Opinions, rants, commentary, and interviews. Plus, your complete morning news, weather, and sports. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe in the 100 Days of Summer.
Which, as I've been saying every day, are winding down very quickly. We're counting down in just a handful of days left until the 100 days of summer is over. Officially, the meteorological summer ends tomorrow. Meteorological fall begins tomorrow on September the 1st. Right now, 70 degrees, foggy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 72 degrees, and I'm trying to think what word I want to use. Kind of misty. It's not exactly rain, although the radar is showing some rain right over my house, but it's not exactly rain. It's just kind of misty outside. We had some rain earlier. So I'm going to call it 72 and misty here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, 72 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Flash flood watch still in effect, officially kicks in late tonight, stays through early Thursday morning. That's when we'll see some of the aftermath of Ida. Today is going to be pretty much a dark, dreary, gray day. We have a little bit of rain this morning, more showery stuff this morning, and then we'll stop the rain for a while, but we'll hit into the afternoon and evening hours when Ida's impact begins to hit us, and that's when it could be, who knows what, 1 to 4 inches. Biff, that's an awful big spread, isn't it? 1 to 4 inches?
I guess depending on the location, because it's going to cover a wide area, that the amount is going to be, you're going to get that kind of gap, so you could pretty much take care of everybody.
1 inch, 1.5 inches, we all know about that. I can deal with that. You get up to 4 inches, and actually yesterday Zach had said it could be 1 to 5. I see today he's got 1 to 4. 4 inches, well, that's a whole different deal. Biffy, people on the island getting nervous at all about potential river flooding?
No, not at all. River's low.
Yeah.
River, I mean, it's that, and that's going to be a good thing when the river starts out low, and you hear the amounts, and I mean, I don't even think it's going to reach action stage. So, this will be nothing for the people on the island. It'll be, the rain will come, it'll go, river will get up a little bit, maybe over 20 feet, but nowhere even near to be concerned about the Ohio River. None.
Spoken like a true island rat. Yeah, we ain't worried about that.
No, I mean...
I think you're right. The official prediction from the National Weather Service is that the river will crest at 30.5 feet, which is still, 6-7 feet below flood stage. It'll be into the action stage, and that's just a prediction. That'll be, I think, it looks to me like Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, something like that, maybe Thursday evening. It'll go into the action stage, but it's not going to get close to flood stage. That, at least, is the prediction right now, based on all that we have. So I think you're probably right. So do your neighbors do anything at this stage other than just sit around and talk about it?
No, I mean, nobody will talk about it. I mean, it'll be fine until, and again, everybody, depending on what street you live on, everybody's different. Everybody knows that magical number right down to the point to where the crest needs to be. So if it's not even going to get to flood stage, then you won't even hear a peep about it.
And as you point out, the good thing is it's been pretty dry until the last few days. So like the creeks are, at least in my neighborhood, the creeks are, you could walk across them with moccasins on. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even get your ankles wet.
Yeah, we went Sunday to dinner out in St. Clairsville, and when we got back, you go across the bridge over onto the island, and you looked over and saw the river, where underneath the bridge, and you could almost literally probably walk across it. That's how low it was.
Yeah, so and that's the good news. And when we drive, we drive around the creeks here in Elm Grove all the time, and literally it's almost a rock riverbed. It's almost nothing in it. So we should be able to take. Now, I am not making predictions here, because then people call tomorrow and say I got flooded in Monroe. Said I wouldn't, but I wouldn't anticipate a lot of problems just because we're starting off with such a little. We're starting off so dry. Other parts of the state have had it pretty bad already, though. Huntington had one of those deals yesterday, Biff, where the storm came over and just stalled right there. Like we've had a couple of times, including going back to the Shady Side flood, which was the worst one, but it just hit Huntington and stopped, and then just dumped rain all through, and so the streets were flooded, and it was a real mess there. And some of the other parts of the state are preparing for heavier rain. I haven't yet seen, I guess that's why we'll talk to Zach here coming up in less than half an hour. I haven't seen what the current track of, Tropical Storm Ida now is. Again, I know it's supposed to go through the state, but if it veers to the west, it'll head, way far from us and go over towards the eastern panhandle. If it stays a little easterly, then we might get more of it. But I haven't seen that track, have you?
I saw it this morning, and it looks like where we are, it's going to be more south. The way it was coming in, I think at first it was a little bit more up, like we might get it now. I think it's actually moved down a little bit, which is why when you look at the predictions, especially like if you're in New Martinsville, that's probably why they're going to have about 4 inches and we might only get 2 because of the way that it moved. So, I mean, other than that, that's all I've seen.
Well, we'll just kind of wait and prepare. I know a lot of folks are concerned about it. People in the usual neighborhoods that get a lot of flooding, not so much creek and stream flooding, which they do worry about. And I did see yesterday, and if this is true, I commend them. I did see yesterday where the city of Wheeling did some proactive things. They had crews going out to some of the usual trouble spots and kind of mucking out the creek and stuff to sort of make it easier for the water to flow. So if that was true, and I saw that, on one of the Facebook pages, it's Facebook, but you never know.
Yeah.
But I hope they're proactive in doing that. And I know that a lot of people are moving, because of the real concern, I guess, again, is not so much, creeks and streams rising, Biff, but the old backup in the basement and so on. So I know people who've had that problem are sort of preparing for it and, got some things up off the floor and all that kind of stuff. So we shall, on the island, that backup through the drains is not so much your problem. Your problem always is just literally the river flooding, right?
Yeah, and in some spots it can be the backup of the drains, but again, it's got to get to that number. It's got to get to that magical number, which at least for us, we're nowhere. It's going to be nowhere near where we need to get concerned. Now, you start talking about right around 42. You hear the number 42, and that's bad for the hot water tank and everything else. But
flood stage is 36?
36.6, I believe.
Okay. All right. And that's the lower end of the island and things like that. So
yeah, that's where the track, I think, gets it, and then parts of the stadium, and then once it gets, hopefully it stays off the field on the stadium. But yeah, after that, then it's just the more, I guess from there, the more north you go, then the numbers start going up to where people, and again, people know it to the point. So I mean, once everybody
knows their number, don't they?
Oh, and I mean, they can tell you it exactly. If you say 41, somebody, no, not 41, 41.2 or 41.5. That's what I mean. I mean, they know it to the exact number. So, yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting anywhere near those numbers. So again, the official crest is 26 something. It does go into what they call the action stage, but it's not even close to a flood stage. But hey, who knows? We've had surprise storms before, and I guess that's the thing. Just be prepared. It was a pretty bad hurricane, tropical storm down south, so the aftermath of it could be bad. We'll get all the details coming up, about 20 minutes or so. Zach will be here to give us more specific information. 7:20, 20 after the hour here, Watchdog Morning Show. What else is coming up? Well, yes, we will talk about the Ida and what kind of flooding we may have. There's a flash flood watch in effect and so on. Meteorologist Zach Petty is with us to keep us informed. America's longest running war is technically over. All military is now out of Afghanistan. But what's next for the people of Afghanistan? What will our non-military involvement be in the country? What will our diplomatic activity be in the region now? And I think one of the big questions people are asking is, will terror groups again grow in power? The Taliban, who has said they're going to be reformed. Show of hands for anybody who believes the Taliban is going to reform. Show of hands, please. Please. Biff, your hand's not up, I don't think.
No, absolutely not.
The Taliban has said they're going to show reform. They're going to treat women with respect. They're going to, try to recognize an elected government. And you know what? Prayers for that to happen. Seriously. But I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see. We're going to talk about all of this with our national correspondent, our Pentagon reporter, Tom Squitieri. He is in every Tuesday, and we'll get into that. Hey, good news. Contract awarded for the rehab of the Wheeling Suspension Bridge, $17 million plus. I'm still unclear what the time frame is, and there was a little caveat in the announcement that said they're not sure it's ever going to open for vehicular traffic again. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes here. Some West Virginia restaurants are going to be eligible for grants if they raise the minimum wage to $15. We're going to hear about the High Roads restaurant idea from a restaurateur and council member in Charleston, Keely Steele, who's going to join us. Governor Justice outlines once again how terrible COVID is. It's dire. It's deadly. I can't believe it. People are dying. More people are going to die. I watched some video of him yesterday just shaking his head like a sad old man. Oh, my God, so bad things, which is true. And then again declines to take any kind of action, nothing. He's not going to do anything for fear of, and I quote here, political divisiveness. Throw political divisiveness in the toilet. Somebody's got to do something. So some of what we're going to get into this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show, that's my game plan. If you have something that you want to talk about on any of those subjects, text me right away, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. The CityNet hotline is 304-232-8255. We'll go top of the morning, check some of the big stories coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 7:23.
You know, there's variety shows, and then there's, well, my...
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
Sure thing. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Hi, this is Hoppy Kercheval. West Virginia, in many ways, is a diverse state, often with different issues, challenges, and successes depending on where you live. But we're also a small state, and we're all connected by being West Virginians. Every day from 10:06 till noon, I talk about and provide insight into the events that shape who we are. My approach is tough but fair, and we may disagree, but together we'll stay abreast of what's going on in our great state. Successes, the hardships, the challenges, and of course the politics that contribute to making us who we are. So join me weekdays, 10:06 till noon for Metro News Talk Line.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
70 at the airport, 72 at the home studio, 72 at the Robinson Auto Group studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Dark and dreary day today. Might see a little misty rain this morning, but it'll stop and then it'll be no rain for a while. And Ida's rainfall comes in the late afternoon into the evening. Details with Zach in about 10-15 minutes or so. 7:28. Hey, we've got some top of the morning stories for you here.
Here's the news you'll be talking about all day. Top of the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Biff, I was actually surprised yesterday to hear from the governor's office that they awarded a contract for the suspension bridge. I was pleasantly surprised, but I was surprised. I didn't realize they were getting close to do anything. The bridge's been closed for how long? When did it close?
It'll be 2 years next month.
Wow. 2 years next month, so about 2.5, 3 years ago is when the big bus went through and rammed the top of the bridge and shouldn't have gone over, and then I think we had another truck went through, and eventually they took a look and they said, too much potential damage. We're going to shut the thing down and wait until we can do some work. Well, apparently they're getting ready. I don't have a time frame. The info from the governor's office didn't give me a time frame, but Advantage Steel and Construction Company was awarded a contract for almost $18 million, $17,907,147. If you want to keep track of that, to make repairs to the suspension bridge, the superstructure, the substructure, to replace any of the damaged suspension cables, renovate the lighting, clean and paint the span. It has been painted for a number of decades now, and so it looks like you're going to fix it up and spruce it up. I think it's a good news. In the intel today, the mayor calls it fantastic news for the city of Wheeling to know that its most iconic structure is going to be fully repaired and rehabilitated. Chad Thalman, the vice mayor, says it's been a lot of work to get to this point and commends Governor Justice for the work that he has done on that. Governor Justice said, as I've said many times, I truly believe Wheeling is an area full of potential. It's unbelievable. I'm excited this project to rehabilitate the suspension bridge is now in the works. Well, I commend the governor for getting this onto the agenda, the Department of Highways for putting it forward. The only thing I don't know, Biff, there are two unanswered questions. One is I did not see a time frame. The contract's awarded, so I don't think it's going to be put off long. I mean, I would think I don't mean tomorrow, but I mean, I would think in a handful of months, or maybe they have to wait till springtime perhaps. But at any rate, I think this will get done fairly quickly now that the contract's been awarded. Although, something just popped into my head. If they wait till next year, which is likely, and hey, listen, I'm not complaining. I'm glad it's being done. Please, not complaining. They'll be doing that work right around the time the streetscape work will be done.
Sure, why not?
Sure, which means that the town will Should be. So about the time the Fort Henry work is done, they'll just get into the streetscape and suspension bridge, and it'll still be a mess. I'm not complaining. Please, nobody send me a text or call me. I'm not complaining. It just struck me the timing on that possibly could be the same as the streetscape. At any rate, we don't really know the timing. I did not see any time frame on there. The other thing that concerned me, though, Biff, one line in this release from the governor's office: contractors won't know until they begin work on the bridge whether it's damaged too badly to reopen to vehicles, which has been my thought all along, that at some point they would say it's just never going to be used as an actual auto bridge again. Now, they didn't say that. They simply said they won't know. But that's a fear that I have, Biff, is that it could end up being fixed and look nice, and that's great. I want to see a rehab. It is an icon. It is an image of the city we want to maintain. It's part of our history. But I sure do hope that they'll be able to get it back to use for traffic again as well, you know?
Yeah, I hope so too, but if not, it'll be a nice walking bridge.
Yeah, pedestrian bridge, biking bridge. So, I mean, that's still, I would assume those things would always be, and again, it doesn't say it won't be open to traffic. It simply says they won't know. And I get this, by the way. It says they just won't know until they get the work started, how badly damaged the bridge is. They may be able to reopen it to vehicles. Although then we go, if they do that, and I hope they do, then we go back to that whole problem we had before, Biff. How do you keep the wrong vehicles off the bridge?
Well, I think, I mean, other than the gigantic signs and the ones with circles going through them that tell you not to go.
And the low hanging signs that you have to actually smash into if you go through, but they've done that already.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think other than that, I think one of the big things, and hopefully when they get started on doing this work, they find out early enough whether or not that cars can go or vehicles can go across it. And if they do, if they find out early enough that, okay, you know, it's going to be okay for vehicles to go across.
Maybe, of a certain weight.
Yeah, of a certain weight. Yes, I forgot about that. But I think what you have to do, once you know, okay, it's going to be good, find a way to where that, like GPSs in cars and stuff that are telling people to go across the bridge, find a way to deter that from happening. If you know early enough and you can get to it enough, take advantage of it and do that, and don't wait. If that can be done, go ahead and do it. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what else you do.
And yeah, again, we've talked about this before, a great length before the bridge was closed even. There are things you could do, and if they're going to do the rehab work, this is the time to do it. What you have to be able to, if a truck comes up by some mistake and shows up at the front of the bridge and suddenly says, oh God, I can't go across that, especially if they're coming from the island side, they don't have anywhere to go. They're just stuck. So you got to kind of make sort of room for a turnaround. I don't know other word to use, but you got to set it up in such a way that if somebody says, oh crap, I don't want to go on there, that they can easily get out. And it would seem to me that would be the right time to do it. But I'm way ahead of myself, way ahead of the work here. Right now, I'll just applaud that the work is going to be done. $17 million, almost $18 million project. It's good news for the city. And since I'm usually saying bad things about him, thank you, Governor Justice. Thank you for doing that. All right, 7:35, 25 before the hour. Afghanistan, COVID. There are two more top of the morning stories. I want to get to those in just a bit. And Ida and its aftermath here in the upper Ohio Valley is on the minds of an awful lot of people. Just a lot of folks are asking. I got calls, I got texts, I got questions yesterday, Biff, from family members and friends and strangers. Oh, how bad is it going to be? And the answer is, oh, no. So we'll see with Zach Petty what we're looking forward to in terms of the aftermath of Ida, coming in late tonight and staying with us through tomorrow. He's coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show after we check some headlines from the Big Seven, and Mr. DeFabio has morning sports. We are the Watchdog Morning Show for a Tuesday.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news headlines.
Emergency crews across the Ohio Valley continue to prep for the remnants of Ida. Officials say we could see up to 6 inches of rain, but that's not accounting for what we're expected to see today. That amount of rain in a short period of time will saturate the ground, increasing the possibility of flash flooding. Here's some things you can do to prepare. Experts tell us you should always have an emergency kit on hand. Some things you should put in it is bottled water, non-perishable food, and medicine. They should also include batteries, flashlights, and a radio, just in case of a power outage. A 17-year-old boy is now behind bars after making bomb threats last week. According to Belmont County Sheriff Dave Lucas, the teen allegedly made the threat against Union Local High School. Students were dismissed shortly after the event. A similar incident took place at Wheeling Park High School on the same day. However, as of right now, no suspects have been arrested in connection. There's a couple lane closures in Ohio County that drivers should be aware of. They're single lane closures taking place near the I-70, I-470 eastbound merger. Work began at 5 this morning and will continue until 5 p.m. Looking over to Route 40, the eastbound lane will be closed today near Valley Grove. Traffic will be maintained in one lane by traffic signals. It will also have an 11 feet width restriction. That was a look at your headlines. Have a great day, everyone.
Monday was not a good day for a couple of players on the special teams, as the Steelers handed out 2 pink slips. Gone is punter Jordan Berry and long snapper Cameron Canada, both released. But kicker Chris Boswell, his job, for the time being, is safe. Presley Harvin III will punt. Christian Kuntz, who played at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, is the long snapper. More cuts must be made by late afternoon for the Pittsburgh Steelers and, of course, all teams in the National Football League. Let's hear from head coach Mike Tomlin.
It's always difficult. It's difficult whether you have games. It's difficult if you don't have games because you just got a level of respect for what these guys put into this process. It's a culmination of a lot of work, not only dating back to the spring, but just really all of their football lives. And so we're highly sensitive to that. We're respectful of that. Business has to get done, but it gets done with that sensitivity and that understanding.
Meanwhile, a fight broke out Monday as tempers flared between Chase Claypool and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Both players, of course, were not made available to the media. Meanwhile, the last-place Pittsburgh Pirates handed out a pink slip. Gone is hitting coach Rick Eckstein. The Pirates visit the Chicago White Sox tonight. The Pirates on the road, 20-45. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Technology can be challenging for business leaders, but Omni Strategic Technologies enables your business to perform without limits. They're the only IT company the Watchdog trusts. Omni offers IT managed services, cybersecurity and advisory solutions, backup and disaster recovery, and can handle all your hardware needs. If your business is faced with any technology challenges, the answer is simple. Call Omni Strategic Technologies at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah? You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The best in local talk is on your FM dial, 98.1 and 97.7. We are the Watchdog.
Want to generate more leads for your home improvement business? Menards offers trade professionals the opportunity to promote their services in our installer center. We encourage you to connect with our guests because we're your supplier, not your competitor. Contact one of our team members at any of your surrounding Menards store locations to inquire about the free program and get enrolled in our installer center today.
Save big money at Menards.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
And we continue with Zach Penny from the Big 7, WTRF TV, who truly is today a storm tracker, tracking the track of a hurricane, now I guess tropical storm or whatever it is, Ida. Zach, good morning. Now you have the storm tracker for sure today.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will hold that title today and probably tomorrow as the remnants continue to have its sights set on the Ohio Valley.
You getting a better sense of what it's going to what it's going to mean to us here in the Ohio Valley? I know yesterday it was still kind of hard to look at the track and project where it was going to go and so what it was going to be. Do you have a better idea now what's going to happen to us?
I have a ballpark. I think that there's still some uncertainty with the general progression of the center of low pressure. I think that's going to stay to our south and east. That's what the trend has been. But for us in the immediate Ohio Valley through at least the panhandle in southeastern Ohio, I think we could see anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, locally higher amounts possible. I think the heaviest bands of rain will actually move closer to Morgantown and Clarksburg area. I think that's where most of the extreme flash flooding will take place. There you could see anywhere of 6+ inches of rain, if not 4 to 6. With the main band starting to set up. And I think most of that will actually start to take place late this evening, if not through the most of the morning and afternoon tomorrow will be the main culprit for rain. But right now we still have some pesky rain showers moving through Noble, Guernsey County right now. That's actually associated with a cold front. The main bands of rain for the remnants of Ida will move through later on this afternoon and through most of the overnight period.
When I got up this morning, the word I used was misty. It was kind of misty outside. It wasn't exactly rain, but it was wet. You know, it was just kind of misty. It's really, that's even gone away now. It's just foggy outside, at least here at the home studios. But so I guess we're not too concerned about too much rain this morning. It'll all come this afternoon. And what we have this morning is not Ida related, correct?
No, anything this morning up until, I'll say, lunchtime will be associated with a very slow-moving cold front. That'll provide much cooler and drier air by Thursday, Friday at the earliest. We'll still stay muggy in terms of the dew point temperatures being in the 60s and 70s, but by Thursday, Friday, it'll start to feel more comfortable outside, and we'll also notice a big dip in our temperatures since just a week ago, if not just this past weekend, we were seeing those temperatures sit right around 90 degrees, if not upper 80s both days. But the rain showers associated with Ida, those will start to move through closer to dinner through the evening, and then most of the day tomorrow, especially early on tomorrow morning, is when we'll start to see the heaviest bands moving through.
And again, at the moment, in the immediate Wheeling area, now to the south of us, we might get more. Is that what you're saying? But in the immediate Wheeling area, got a sense of what we might get?
Yeah, so it looks like the farther north of I-70 you go, you could see less than an inch, if not right around an inch, right along I-70, the I-70 corridor, whether that's into Belmont County, Guernsey, Noble, Ohio County, maybe the southern half of Hancock, northern half of Marshall County. We could see 1 to 3 inches of rain, and then the higher amounts south of Moundsville, closer to the southern half of Marshall, Monroe, Tyler, Wetzel, you could see, we'll say 3 to 4, 3 to 5 inches of rain. Again, the farther south and east that you travel, the heavier bands of rain that are likely to develop and settle in.
Now, we still have, or I guess I should rephrase that, a flash flood watch is still anticipated to be in effect beginning this evening and into the next couple of days. So we are still worried about flash flooding, right?
Correct. Yeah, the potential is there, especially if we see these rain showers raining over an already saturated area, which most of the region is, as well as if we do have a pocket of heavy, steady rain that decides to sit overhead for an hour or two, and it has decent rainfall rates upwards of an inch or 2 inches per hour. I would not be surprised if a polygon does get thrown down for a flash flood warning, but yes, we are in a flash flood watch. That's set to take in effect at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that is set to expire at 2 a.m. on Thursday, meaning the ingredients are there for flooding potential. So, again, to continue to have and develop a plan in case a flash flood warning does decide to get thrown down, and if a warning does occur, that means you have time to execute your plan, the one that you have now hopefully starting to get made and formulate and talk about with the watch being issued right now.
Plan? I should have a plan? Vic, do you have a plan? I need a plan?
I don't need a plan. I'm fine. I mean, again, when the river hits 36 and we start talking about flood stages, I'll worry. Until then, it's business as usual for me.
Biff is a true island rat, Zach. I mean, they don't worry. They're not going to worry about predictions in the rain. When it starts to come up the steps, that's when they begin to get concerned. Otherwise, it's like, hey, we're island rats. We don't worry about it. The river stage is expected to crest in the action stage, but significantly below the flood stage. So at least at the moment, Zach, it looks like river flooding is not a concern. I guess, again, everything could change, but that's not a concern at the moment, right?
No, they've issued an aerial flood advisory for Allegheny County and the Ohio River there. But obviously, if it's raining in the Ohio River in Allegheny County, obviously that has to flow its way down to us later on. But I'm not noticing a whole lot of that whenever I read some of the river forecast discussions and elsewhere. But the nice thing is that the National Weather Service is going to be doing a briefing that, of course, I will be sitting on. I think Aaron Myler will also be coming up and sitting in on that discussion, just to kind of give us a little more in-depth information compared to what we have, and from some of the other things that some of the National Hurricane Center discussions have talked about. So just kind of honing in on our area instead of going more so a broad scale of things. But I'll bring it up. But again, I'm not fully concerned on river flooding as of right now.
All right, so tonight, tomorrow is when we have to worry about what Ida is going to bring us. It could be 1 up to 4 inches, depending on where in the overall area we are. Probably in the immediate Wheeling area, maybe we're looking at in the, 2-3 inch range. I think that's kind of what I'm getting you're saying. All right, so that's today, that's tomorrow. The flash flood watches are in effect. Maybe they'll turn into warnings, probably will. At some point, though, Ida will move on. What do we look for when that happens? What's the rest of the week going to be like?
Fair weather, Ty. Bright blue skies and abundant sunshine.
The sun will return?
It does. It definitely won't look like that tomorrow morning. Probably whenever you and I are talking, it'll look like. I'm not going to say it'll look biblical, as Brother Biff said the one time he was on the golf course, and he says he looked up to the sky and says, "Oh, it just looked biblical with how ominous the clouds and everything looked." It might look that way tomorrow. If anything, it'll just be gray and dark. But the sun will return, especially Thursday through at least Sunday, if not even into Monday, as a high pressure builds into our west. That'll keep us sun-filled and allow us to dry things out in very comfortable and pleasant conditions, likely as we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So once we get past the Ida problems, it looks like a couple of good days and a good weekend as well. I like the sound of that. Biff's laissez-faire attitude notwithstanding, everybody should kind of be prepared tonight, tomorrow, for the potential for flooding, the potential for heavy rains, and if that impacts you in your house, if you get storm drainage back up, if you get water runoff from the hills, if you're near a low-lying creek or stream, just take some time to be prepared, get your game plan ready, and know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that good way to put it, especially if you're in an area that typically floods, if you're living near a small stream or a creek, I do expect those to get somewhat over their embankments, or if you're just in a poor drainaged area and you experience basement flooding, just maybe start to pull those more valuable items out just in case, just so that way you're prepared. So that way, in case something does happen, at least you had the time to prepare and game plan of, hey, this is what I'm going to do.
And if nothing happens, just consider it was your exercise for the day today.
That's a fair way to put it, Howard.
I do want to say emergency crews have been out and getting ready. They're doing a lot of staging, a lot of prep work. Saw a lot of the crews out yesterday in the creeks, low-lying areas. I think trying to sort of, not exactly dredge, but to just get some of the muck out of the creeks and stuff. So I get the sense they're being proactive, which is a good thing, and we all should be that too. And we will just keep an eye on the Big 7 and on our Storm Tracker 7 app, and get all the info that you get when you get it, right?
Of course, and you can also follow us along on social media, my personal Twitter feed and Facebook, and we'll try to continue to keep updates going along and pass them along as soon as we get them. That's our job, right?
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Good talking to you. Get to work. Stay on top of things. You and Dr. Dave and Aaron will let us know what's happening, and we're trusting you. Don't screw it up.
Well, you can always trust us. I promise you that much.
All right. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate it.
We'll
before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Biff, must I break or not break?
We are good to go.
I was going to get into COVID here, but there's a story that came across my desk yesterday I found interesting. I just want to talk about it for a quick second. And it caught my eye because, as I told you, my grandson Teddy is big in video gaming now. He loves to play the video games, the Mario Brothers and Minecraft, and there's another type of game. I mean, he just loves these things, and he and his daddy play them together. I play them with him too, and he usually says, "Granddad, just give me the controller because I'm no good." But he and his daddy play them. Last night when they were going home, he said, Dad, well, before dinner, can we do, and I want to get into Mario and play Worlds 3 and 4, and I got to get the flagpole. He's big in video games. And we've been trying to control that a little bit. I know there's a lot of value in video games. I don't have the fear of it that some people do. But I also think sometimes kids can spend way too much time with them, Biffy. which is why this story out of China caught my interest. China, the government of China, is putting restrictions on children playing online video games. In China, kids can only play video games from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, weekends, and public holidays. No Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. You can only play, if you're a kid in China, you can only play your online video games between 8 and 9 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on the holidays. And you can only play a total of 3 hours a week. I mean, this is mandated by the government. And they give you an extra couple of hours on if it's a holiday, like, well, I don't know if they have Labor Day, but whatever a holiday would be, they would give them a couple extra hours as well. China's been cracking down on the tech sector a lot lately, and the Chinese government worries that the tech sector is having too big an influence on their society in general, and certainly on their young people. But man, can you imagine, Biffy, if the federal government here were to decide to set a restriction for how long kids could play video games?
I'm sure parents wouldn't mind, but the kids would be very upset about that one.
Well, parents who care about their kids spending too much time on video games wouldn't mind. Some parents who use video games as a babysitter, and let's be honest, you know as well as I do, but if some people do that, here, kid, play this game. They don't have to pay attention to them. Some parents probably would not like it at all, but man, I can't imagine that. And it's China, so I'm afraid to even ask the question, what happens if they catch your kid playing more than 3 hours a week? You know, Chinese punishment is not necessarily a $5 fine. You know what I'm saying, Biffy?
Yeah, they may they may take out the parents and the kid.
Yeah, I
mean,
I don't think it'll be mild. I mean, this is, you know, so it's kind of scary. But I found that interesting. I just want to share with you. In China, children can only play 3 hours of online games a week, and they can only play games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on holidays. So, hey, if you're a parent or a grandparent in my case, and you're setting timelines for your kids, I do this with Teddy all the time. Now, Teddy, you can play an extra 20 minutes, and that's it. And if they give you a little bit of lip, and Teddy gives me lip, Granddad, I wanted to play longer. Just tell him, be glad you're not in China. Remember how our parents used to always say things like, eat all the food on your plate, there's starving children in Africa, or whatever it would say.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm putting some time limit on your video games. Just be glad you're not in China. At least you can play on a Tuesday over here. All right, it's 8 o'clock on the Watchdog Morning Show. ABC's got a lot of stuff for us. Busy morning this morning. Coming up next, Tom Squidieri is going to join me, and our national correspondent and I will kick around Afghanistan. Who did we leave? Did we leave? What's next? What about the Taliban? Lots of unanswered questions as America's longest military activity comes to an end.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Afghanistan in the aftermath of